In this video, we'll see how to use the Quick Develop controls found in the Library module. Quick Develop is found over here in the right side panels. I'm going to open that up by clicking on the triangle, and I'll walk you through the different options you have. First of all, you can see that you can apply a preset straight from the Library module. Any of the presets that you have in the Develop module are available here in the Library module. If I click on this little triangle here, you can see that we can also crop an image in the Library module by ratio, though. There's no crop overlay tool. So we can use one of the preset ratios, or we can enter a custom ratio value here. You can go from color to black and white from the treatment choices, although I find using just the V key will convert to black and white, and it's easier than going through the menu here. Let me go ahead and close that. And then you have white balance controls. And if you're shooting RAW, you have all these presets. You don't have a white balance tool for customizing the white balance that way. But you do have all these presets if you shot RAW. If you shot JPEG, you have fewer options. And if you click on this triangle here, you can actually fine-tune the white balance settings with these arrows. Now the double arrow is a coarser adjustment than the single arrow. Then you can see on the left side, you're going to make the temperature cooler. On the right side, you're warmer in the tints, more to the green, or more to the magenta. So let me close that. And then you have tone control. You have auto tone. If you select auto tone, it applies the auto tone, the same auto tone that's found in the Develop module. I'm going to go Z and bring it back to its default setting. If I click on this triangle, I get more options under tone control. I can control the exposure by the double arrows. I'm decreasing the exposure by 1 stop. The single arrow is decreasing exposure by 1/3, and I'm going to increase exposure by 1/3 stop here and increase exposure by 1 full stop. We also have the contrast controls, highlight, shadow, whites, and blacks, just like we find in the Develop module, but instead of being controlled by sliders, these arrows control the amount. Now down here under clarity and vibrance, this is a little tricky here. I'm holding down the Option and Alt key, and you can see clarity turns into sharpening and vibrance turns into saturation. So you can see you have all those controls there as well. And if you want to reset all your tonal controls, you select Reset All. So why use the Quick Develop controls in the library and not go into the Develop module and do the work there? Well, some people just want to stay in the library module and they don't want to spend the time to go over to the Develop module. That's one reason to use Quick Develop. There's another reason that's actually very practical. I'm going to make a selection of images here in the library module there. So I have selected that whole top row. When I'm in the library module and using Quick Develop, anything I do to these images now, they'll all be done at once. So let me go ahead and I'll decrease the exposure by 1 stop. So you can see all those images now are being affected by that 1 stop exposure change. And this is what's really critical here, is it's all done in a relative manner. In other words, these are not absolute values that are placed on each image. They all have their starting point, and they've all been now reduced by 1 full stop. That holds true for all the different tone controls. It's all done relatively and not absolutely. It's just a way of working on a lot of different images. You can apply any of the tonal controls or any of the presets to 1 image, 5 images, 100 images, you name it, and you can do it all very quickly. That's why it's called Quick Develop in the library module. So in summary, use the Quick Develop when you want to apply a preset or a simple adjustment to a batch of images and not leave the library module. It's the only way to apply a relative and not absolute exposure change to a batch of images. Okay, so that's the Quick Develop settings in the library module of Lightroom.